Behold, Blue Eyes, White Dragon! Hey, it's Decayed here. Hello guys and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode we're taking a look at Blue Eyes with the new support being added in Maiden of White, as well as the Neo Kaiser, the Roar of Blue Eyes, Wishes of Blue Eyes, and of course the big boss himself, Ultimate Spirit Dragon, and a few things here and there. And yeah, we're just going to take a look at Blue Eyes. I added in the Bestial engine as just an additional thing to do, because until we get Primite, this is kind of just the best we can do. Throw in a whole bunch of hand traps and hope and pray that it's enough. So yeah, we're going to go quickly through the card by card and the explanation. I am playing 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. This is a mistake. Just play 2. But I was just more or less testing to see if I needed the 3 or if I could get away with 2. Yeah, you can absolutely get away with 2. In fact, I saw some people playing 1. I don't necessarily agree with the 1. I think you definitely need 2, but 3 is a bit overkill. Just play another Bestial. That being said, we're also playing 3 Sage, which is very good. It's a normal summon and an effect that you can utilize in hand. Most of the time, you're going to use it for its normal summon effect to search out something like Valor or Maiden of White. Maiden of White is very useful. You can send it to the graveyard in order to place a True Light pretty much from anywhere into your face-up spell and trap card zone. And if you then special summon a Blue Eyes, you can reborn this from the grave. So, very useful. It basically gets you your combo as well as getting you access to the synchro materials necessary, which is very, very useful. We're also playing the 3 of spell that searches the Maiden, or that you utilize in order to get the Blue Eyes onto the field, which is Wishes for Eyes of Blue, which says discard a card in order to add a light level 1 spellcaster and a spell trap that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck to your hand. Now, notably, this does say and. So that means if you activate this, discarding a card, and then don't get Ash Blossomed, which it absolutely will be, what you are able to do is, or what you have to do is search out a spell trap and then search out a monster, which is something of note. So I am playing quite a few additional spell traps, not for this in particular, but yeah, there you go. But then it also has the ability to banish it in order to equip a Blue Eyes with an extra deck monster. It's pretty useful for putting this guy in particular into the graveyard, which is pretty nice. But all in all, this basically gets you additional access to Maiden of White, which does the full combo. So there you go. It also allows you to grab up Roar with Eyes of, or sorry, Roar of the Blue-Eyed Dragons, which it says special summon a Blue Eyes from your deck in defense position, or a Blue Eyes monster from your deck in defense position, or sorry, from deck, grave, or banishment, and then you are locked into dragons for the rest of the duel from extra. So that is something to keep in mind. On top of that, we are also playing the 3 of Neo Kaiser Seahorse, which says if you control Blue Eyes White Dragon, you can special summon it from the from your hand, and if sent to the graveyard, you can use its effect in order to send a monster, a Blue Eyes monster or a monster that mentions Blue Eyes White Dragon to the grave, which allows you to put this guy into the graveyard. Now, what are you able to do with the Neo is you can actually normal summon it to do the full combo itself. You normal summon it, you send it to the graveyard for the Link 1, and then the Seahorse sends the Maiden of White to the graveyard, and the Spirit says you cannot special summon except for dragon monsters, and you can use each of the following effects once per turn. If Link summoned, take a Mausoleum of White, add it to the hand, or send it to the graveyard. Then you contribute it in order to special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your hand or grave, but its effects are negated if it's an effect monster. And it also cannot attack. So what this does is it searches Mausoleum. Mausoleum can then, once per turn, target a face-up monster, send a normal monster to the graveyard, and if you do, the targeted monster gains attack. And then on top of that, during your main phase, you can normal summon in addition. So ultimately, Neo, normal summon, send to the graveyard for the Link monster. The Link monster then adds. Then you grab Mausoleum. Mausoleum activates, targets the Spirit of Blue Eyes, or Spirit with Eyes of Blue, sends a Blue Eyes White Dragon. So now you have Maiden and Blue Eyes White Dragon in the grave. Spirit then utilizes its second effect, which tributes itself to special summon that Blue Eyes, which then triggers the Maiden to special summon itself. Then you can use Maiden either to grab the True Light, or you can use it for the synchro summon of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, which says, Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time, which basically says, hey, nice pendulum summon. On top of that, you can once per turn negate a card effect that is activated in the grave. Great. And then the last effect, which is the most important effect for us here, tribute this card to special summon a Light Dragon Synchro monster from extra deck in defense. Awesome. What are we summoning? There's actually 2 options. Now, if we have both Spirit Dragons, we can do both options. One, you can summon Crimson Dragon, which then can be utilized with the Spirit Dragon to immediately go into whatever target you want to have. Or, if you summon it, you can wait till the opponent's turn, because this is a quick effect, and then you can summon Ultimate Spirit Dragon, which says it's just an Omni Negate. You just Omni Negate, and if it's destroyed, it special summons back a Light Dragon from the grave. So, you can bring back the Spirit Dragon, or you can bring back a Blue Eyes. That's ultimately what the combo does. So, let's just hop into the rest of the card by card. We have a bunch of Bestials, 1 apiece of a Magnema, Druiswarm, and Baldrake, as well as 2 Bestial Lubellion, and then the 1 Regained. And then we're also playing 1 of Majesty, which just pops additional cards, and with the 1 True Light. This is kind of a brick, but you do need it for the combo. We're also playing 3 apiece of Valor, the 2 Maxi, the 3 Ash Blossom, the 3 Fuwa Loss, and 2 Called By as well. And that is pretty much it for the for the main deck. We're playing a nice clean 40 because I want to. As for the extra, we are playing the 1 Tyrant Dragon. It's actually very easy to summon. This can fusion summon it, as well as you can just tribute off your monster equipped via the effect of Wishes, in order to then just summon it, which is very nice for cleaning up boards. We also have the the Neo Ultimate Dragon, because it has the ability in grave to protect your monsters via targeting protection, so that's pretty nice. On top of that, you can just equip it with the effect of the Wishes in order to put it into the grave for a myriad of things. We're playing 1 Azure as an additional target for the Spirit Dragon. We're playing 2 Spirit Dragon. Actually, this entire video was filmed with 1 Spirit Dragon. Play 2, it's way better, but I only ever have 1, so I don't end up ever making the Crimson Dragon, but that is an option you can do with 2. We also have the 1 Baron, the 1 Bestial Dispotter, the 1 Sif as our target for the, Siffer for our Crimson Dragon target, the 1 Ultimate Spirit Dragon, you only need the 1, the 2 Spirit of Eye with Eyes of Blue, 2 Hieratic Seal, and 1 SP Little Knight. Honestly, 1 Seal and the 1 Dispotter could be pretty much anything else. This is just what I happened to play. So let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performs. Alright, here we are going second. Let's see what we can accomplish here. We do only have the Ash Blossom, but we do have 2 of it, so hey, maybe it's useful. My opponent is playing Marincess. I know that was a Trickstar monster. It's Marincess. It's fine. They're going to look at my hand, and then they're going to make every wrong decision. Anyway, they're going to go for the dive because they already have the Battle Ocean, so yep, there's that. They're then going to special summon in order to go into the Coral Anemone, and at this point they basically have full combo. There's not a whole lot that I can do to stop them. They go for the Coral Triangle here. They're going to then activate the effect in order to grab up dive again, as well as equip here, and, maybe they don't have anything if they just do that. I think there was a way that they could have potentially done more, but yeah, they didn't actually activate the Coral Triangle, so I'm pretty certain that they have the trap in hand. So let's see what we can do here anyway. We're going to start off here with the Bestial Lubellion, which will be met promptly with Ash, which is why I said that this was the wrong decision. Every time, you're going to want to Ash Wishes. I'm literally playing Bestial Lubellion to do exactly that. To just bait people into ashing it. Because a lot of people will ash the Bestial Lubellion. But yeah, alas, here we go. We're going to go for the Wishes here in order to grab up Roar as well as Maiden. We're now going to activate the effect of the Maiden, putting into our face-up spell and trap card zone the True Light. Then we special summon out the Blue Eyes White Dragon, which triggers Maiden to special summon itself. And now we're off to the races. We're going to equip here, and then I'm going to activate the Mausoleum. And here we can actually just summon out the Tyrant Dragon. And the reason we do this is because we can just special summon with the True Light, since we haven't used its effect, in order to go and special Blue Eyes. So yeah, having drawn the Wishes is way better. Anyway, they Solemn Strike. Crazy. I am going to attempt to target the Maiden of White. They then activate Marincess Wave, which does nothing. Because now I just activate the Maiden of White. The whole point that I was... The whole reason I was doing this was because Maiden of White has an effect where if it's targeted, either for attack or a card effect, it reborns a Blue Eyes White Dragon or a level 1 tuner from grave. So I'm just gonna do that. Thanks for the targeting. Anyway, we also get to send another Blue Eyes there, and we go for the Spirit Dragon. Here we can then reborn the Blue Eyes and just go to combat. We couldn't quite kill him due to the strike, but yeah. We're also going to negate the effect of the search there with the Spirit Dragon and just pass the turn on that. I do want to keep the Spirit Dragon on field as well, and Spirit Dragon, remember this little line of text that says neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at the same time. So, Coral Triangle has text that says, if your opponent controls a monster, banish this card in order to special summon water link monsters from your grave with a combined link rating that equals exactly 3. Now, notably, that summons them all at the same time, which means they can't do that. Also, I could just negate the effect. Anyway, out comes the Marincess Dive. I activate the Ash Blossom, and then now they're going to do pretty much the same thing. They're going to go for the Sea Angel. They're also going to equip here, and they actually do equip enough to make this larger than Spirit Dragon, so I do have to tag out here. Out comes the Ultimate and Spirit Dragon. They are going to crash here, but they then get to activate their effect in order to special summon out the Coral Anemone, which then brings out an additional guy, and they can go into Marble Rock. Kind of interesting. I would not have done this, but I get why they do this. They're going to go and grab up the Marincess Wave. They're going to activate the effect of the Marincess Wave, targeting our monster. Hey, did you target? Neo is going to activate, preventing that from actually resolving. They're going to then add it back once again with Marbled Rock, and then go into the Arc Aqua. They're going to go into the Link 4. I am going to attempt to negate their Battle Ocean from equipping the monsters, because if we do that, they basically don't have anything. So this basically forces out the Marincess Wave, which is what I was hoping for. Now, I could have negated the Marbled Rock, but I feel like it was better just to do this, so I do. Anyway, we do use the True Light in order to bring out the Blue Eyes, and then Blue Eyes brings out the Maiden, and then we also, during the end phase, have to destroy our monster via the effect of a Spirit Dragon, but luckily, that just brings back Spirit Dragon. So now we have an additional Spirit Dragon on our field, and we can kind of go from there. Also, this guy just doesn't do anything. Like, it kind of does, but I'm going to show you it actually doesn't. So, we're going to activate the Mausoleum. They could have negated and special summon the guy, which would have been great for them. They just didn't. So there's that. Anyway, we are going to send with Maiden of White, and then we are going to make Baron. And then we just pop and destroy, and yeah, the game's over. Yeah, we could just make Baron in this deck as well, which is something. It's certainly something. Anyway, Burst Stream of Destruction. Nope, that's a different deck. White Lightning! There we go. No, it is Burst Stream of Destruction. That's the spell, though. It's White Lightning. You get it. Alrighty, so here we are going first, and my opponent has elected to go second, so that's kind of interesting. But let's see what we can accomplish here. Once again, starting off with the Bistio Lubellion. It resolves, we're going to grab out the Magnemite, and out comes Droll. Now, this may seem pretty bad, but luckily we already have all of our search targets, so it's actually not as bad as it may seem. So we're going to go for the True Light here, and then we're going to set Roar. Because this card specifically sets, we then get to activate the Roar. Roar then special summons out the Blue Eyes, and Blue Eyes then summons out the Maiden. Here we can special summon the Neo Kaiser, and then we can synchro into the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Here we can then send an additional card via the Mausoleum, and now we can special summon out the Bistio Lubellion. Now we can activate the effect of the Bistio Lubellion. Just kidding, I lied to you, Nibiru hits us. This is a big, bad card for this deck. You basically always play into Nibiru, and there's nothing that you can really do to counteract it. There's kind of technically things that you can do. Theoretically, you could make a Spirit Dragon. If you had the ability to make a second one, you could then use said first Spirit Dragon to make... this guy, kind of. Except this guy doesn't do anything. Because this activates on field, and this doesn't, so... I think it's like, you make Seal, and you hope and pray that they Nibiru you after Seal, but you can't really do anything. But that's fine. We will just send, and then Bistio, grab back the Bistio Lubellion off of Magnemite, since we can't grab anything else off of Droll. But my opponent reveals that they're on Kashtira, playing Nibiru. Good job. I'm just going to see if they can do anything. They can't, so, yeah, at this point, they're just dead. They do have the DD Crow, though, which also sucks. This is also another thing that is a bit of a problem for the Blue Eyes, which is Bestials and or DD Crow, just being able to banish like Maiden of White or a Blue Eyes monster or something of that nature. We draw a second Lubellion, but at this point the game is pretty much over. We're going to grab the Druid Swarm, and my opponent just concedes there. We did have Valor, so like we could have potentially did something there to interact with our opponent, but yeah, it'd be a shame if they had like a monster on their field, right? Nibiru. Alrighty, here we are once again going first. However, once again, my opponent has elected to go second. So that's a bit interesting. We're once again going to start with the Bestial Lubellion and grab up Magnemite. Here we can pitch the Fuelos in order to grab up Roar as well as Maiden, because we did end up resolving Wishes. Fantastic. We're going to go for the Maiden here to put the True Light onto the field, and then go for the Blue Eyes White Dragon, which will special summon the Maiden, and then we can equip it with the Guy. Now we can Synchro Summon into the Spirit Dragon and activate the Magnemite, special summoning out the Magnemite, and then tributing it for our Bestial Lubellion. Now, I did end up being stupid and banishing the Blue Eyes White Dragon. That was just a mistake. Shouldn't have done that. Should have banished pretty much anything else in the grave. Would have been better. But it's fine. We still grab up the Druid Swarm. We have Ash, Valor, as well as our Spirit Dragon. Now, because my opponent chose to go second, and some of the, context clues, like, I don't know. So I decided to kind of play a bit differently, and we go for this. And yeah, who would have thought? It's Sky Striker. I'm going to negate the Mobilize Engage, then they're going to activate the Thrust. I'm going to negate that as well, because I don't want that to resolve. And out comes the Afterburners, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this, or I'm going to use this, because of course they're going to pop the True Light, because they're stupid, and we get to set the Wishes. And then we just get to special summon back our Spirit Dragon here. They're going to go for the Ray here, which allows us to special summon our Magnemite. They're going to then do this whole shenanigans. Out comes the Kagari, but luckily they're doing this during the main phase, so as the Kagari activates, we can just negate its effect. So, no engage for them, which means we pretty much have this sealed. Out comes Hayate, that's fine. They're going to go to combat, they're going to then send to the graveyard Widow Anchor. I wish I could explain, but I can't. Anyway, out comes Shizuku. During the end phase, I'm going to go for the Bestial Druid Swarm in order to cycle a card here. And we draw Sage, which is actually pretty good. And then I add Blue Eyes White Dragon here because I wanted to pop a card. But, yeah, that was dumb. I should have popped this one. I don't know why I didn't. I knew this was Horned Drones, but it's fine. Anyway, we draw a second Blue Eyes, because of course we did. Anyway, out comes the Bestial Lubellion. We're going to send it to the graveyard. Yeah, I really should have popped that card. Teekboo. Not exactly what I was expecting, but don't worry. I have a trick up my sleeve. First of all, we're going to grab the cards that we need off of our spell here. So we're going to grab up the Maiden. Maiden is then going to activate, and we're going to set the True Light once again. And then we're going to normal summon to grab up the Effect Veiler. And, hey, Baron! We used a Dragon and a Spellcaster to make a Warrior. Hey, that plays around Teekboo. Let's go. Anyway, Baron now allows us to do this. So we could just do the combo. Also, why would you play Teekboo when all of your Link monsters are Warriors? Not warriors, sorry, machines. Like, huh? They're all machines. Why would you do that? Anyway, Teekboo. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, this deck is incredibly fun. It is like the new Sword Soul. It is very simple, and it is very clean in what it accomplishes. Also, on top of that, similar to Sword Soul, there's a lot of different variations in the way that you can build your deck and still have it function optimally. Obviously, I think that this is not a perfect deck. In fact, at the end of my last stream, what we ended up doing was coming up with something better. You can add a ton of different things to this. There's a bunch of different ways that you can make your end board or end on a wide variety of different things. So there's a bunch of different stuff that you could do. For example, you could play the Tachyon engine, which is basically just 2 rank 8s, as well as the Tachyon counter trap, which is very, very useful and incredibly powerful. So all in all, lots of different stuff that you can do. And yeah, I think it's very nice. Also, Spirit Dragon is an insane card. It just randomly comes up in a bunch of different matchups where it's incredibly useful. Right, especially the effect negation of a card that activates in Grave, because that interacts with Fiendsmith, it interacts with Tier Limit, it interacts with I don't know, White Forest or any other deck ever at any point right now in the current metagame. Like, pretty much everything is able to be stopped via that effect. Flamberg, right? Just like everything is is stopped by that. Also, Flamberg is stopped by the other effect as well. So that's kind of crazy. So lots of really good uses of Spirit Dragon. And then on top of that, having this additional interaction that you can utilize is kind of crazy. Also, being able to go Crimson Dragon into more negates and what have you is also very, very strong. So, all in all, it's not insane. It's not going to put up an insane end board. But what it does do is pretty consistent and very viable. It's not the most powerful end board, but it is something that is going to stick around and be difficult to out for the opponent, which makes it just as valuable as something that's just like 9 Omni negates. That's not true. But it's similar in nature to something that is just like 5 or 6 negates. With no real staying power. So all in all, I think it's very nice. It's still Blue Eyes, it's still bricks from time to time. There's a lot of just like dead cards. Mausoleum, Blue Eyes, the traps as well. Not great draws, but they're not terrible. It's a lot more consistent than it was previously, and it is very fun. So that's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys did indeed enjoy. If you did, like us very much, so appreciate it. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.